One might love his Switch more than his girlfriend.
Man, I hope she's not listening to this.
I'm not happy.
Please.
And one's a dad
The
who
audio
can't
is
stop
not
playing
working
Rocket
for
League.
These kids these
Not
days.
the
they're
audio.
like,
Hello, everyone.
We're used to
in
jump and
my,
run.
Together,
the intro.
they welcome
John,
you
hit
to
the button. I
Ahman
don't hear it.
Jon's Gamers
See here?
Lounge.
Oh, man. No! You missed out, Chris, man. Hey, welcome to the show. Hey, so we got good intro, and my whole audio. Well, to remember when you logged in, my audio wasn't working right. It was weird. So the last 2 days, my computer is not happy with me. So we'll get into the podcast. Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. We having technical difficulties here, which is a thing here. So everybody knows coming into this show, we have this problem. So this is not unknown to the Gamers Lounge podcast. So welcome everyone here on Twitch and in the podcast world as well. So welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. I'm your host, along with my good friend John Audius there at the bottom. If you're watching, he's at the bottom of the screen, and our guest today, Chris Rivers, right there to my left. And so, we always, we talk about the industry, we talk about what's going on in the world today, in the video game world, good and bad. We talk about games coming out, game releases. It's a ton every week. Sometimes there's a famine where it's only like 0 games in a week, which is interesting. But then sometimes it's like 100 games in 1 week. It's like, how are we gonna play all these games, or what we're gonna talk about? Because there's so many to pick from and try to play and research on and things of that nature. And then of course, in the world today, we got all these fun streaming apps. We got Netflix, Hulu, Tubi, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Disney Plus, Amazon Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO show. Right, Apple. We got all these apps, so we're going to give our recommendations of either TV shows or movies or limited documentaries or anything that's put out there that we found interesting to watch and entertaining to watch. So we give you that. And then we have a fun conversation, between myself and our guests called This or That. And we always find out things maybe we didn't want to find out about one another, or something very cool, it's very interesting, like, oh, you like lemonade over pop soda, or so, something fun like that, or whatever. Or you a DC Marvel person. So we can figure it out from here. But welcome to the show. What's up, Denai? Looking in Twitch chat here. What's up, my man Green? He's a fellow Halo player, Chris. So we're talking about that. Off record there. So we got some Halo players. Like I said, me being a Halo guy, we got my followers and my subs and my moderators are big into it. And we got, Halo Infinite here in like 2 weeks or less is dropping. I'm excited about that game. So coming out. So since the last show, man, I've had a busy week. I mean, the last 3-4 days, 5 days have been like my head. If it wasn't screwed on tight, it would fall off. I got interviews, which is great. Being busy is a good thing. I mean, Chris, you can probably relate to that. John too. Definitely, I know you can. What's that? Exactly, it's the problems I want. A great way to put it. And so, but the one day on Saturday, I had the chance to hang out with some of my old teammates. So Dorsey Levens, Antonio Freeman came in town, and then I had Kevin Berry and Juice Constein was both offensive linemen with me, the Packers, and we got to hang out. So what the new big business is right now, and I think a lot of NFL teams are doing this because I heard this years ago. So they're doing fan experiences. So we did this fan experience on Saturday night where we're at a house. So if you ever come to Green Bay, Chris, you got my information. You got to come and have the experience. John has been up here a few times, but I don't know when the last time you were here, John. But like right across the street from Lambeau Field, like Lambeau Field is like in a neighborhood, just to set you up. It's like you're driving along, you get off the freeway, then boom, a football stadium, an NFL stadium. It's like boom, right there in the neighborhood, right? Right. So they have houses next to the across the street from the stadium that like people basically spruced up and have made them like elaborate like tailgating destinations. So at this one house, they made this one house kind of basically look like Lambeau Field. It has the Art Deco design and everything, and so we do this fan experience where we go in the house, we tailgate, and it's not even game day, but it's the day before. That just show you how serious football is here in the state of Wisconsin, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so we're in here, and we basically are there to meet and greet with the fans and watch the '96 Super Bowl where they beat the Patriots. So we're in there just chilling, drinks, food, and watching old football, not new football, watching old school football. You know, with all the yeah. Right, that's deep. So these fans, like, and some of the fans I know, I've been around Green Bay for 21 years now. So a lot of the fans, like, we're friends. We're not even like a fan, athlete type thing. It's more of a, hey, Bonnie, Gary, how you doing? What you up to today? Go give me. I'm a Blue Moon guy. Can you go grab that for me? So we. Yes, so we had a good time hanging out. So it was just fun, and it was just interesting seeing Antonio and Dorsey. I only see them guys a couple times a year when they come in for the game, so it's always good to see them. And obviously, yeah, it's a holiday. We're reminiscing about our playing days, and we basically feel like we're young again for a couple hours, So it's like, so it's pretty. Exactly. So two guys and a dog deny. Yes, I know you probably can't hear anybody. I know my audio. I don't know what's going on. Hold on here. We having a little audio issues, but we all hear each other. And I know John, that means he's good with the recording. So I'm going to mess around with this speaker here, and hopefully I don't lose nobody. Okay. Yep. Oh, yes. I know this. I know, but I already set up this event to happen in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is my hometown, Omaha, right across the river. And at the time, I didn't know Wisconsin's schedule. I didn't know they were playing Nebraska because I would have been at that game. But I'm going to be back home in Nebraska, actually, missing out. I'm probably watching it on my phone, be like this. Oh, man, hopefully we can not get our butt kicked, in this game. Yep. Right. Yes. No, they edited. No, they edited the commercials out. It was none of the commercials. Right. I'm like, that would have been funny though, cause yeah, the old school funny. Yes, indeed. No, that's fire. That's beyond. Yep. It's it's a who's who of death row. Right. It's a who of death row. Um, Whoever Dr. Dre worked with, which it should be. It's in L.A. It's you gotta have. I think the only person that's missing out. That's what I was just about to say. This is this is easy right here. Yeah, but I was just about to say. I think the only person not on the bill, I didn't see Ice Cube on there. I was like, wait a minute, Cube. This is L.A. This is cop. Well, I was like, I'll be if I know what Cube is. He's like, what? That's all right. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna do something. He real good. He got movies. He's still putting out albums. Yep. So to the Twitch chat, y'all, if y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up or yes or no. Because I did a little adjustment. Maybe y'all have everybody but my voice. But if you got Chris, you got John's voice, let me know, please, in the Twitch chat. But bringing in our special guest here, Chris Rivers. He is a rapper. He is a gamer. He is an anime fan. He knows names, and he could probably beat you up in Dragon Ball Fighters. My man, welcome to the show. And he's, like I said, he's definitely, like I said, big gamer. So welcome to the show, Chris, man. How you doing? Yeah, we're gonna have a great time, man. And so, my boy Carlos, who basically is like, hey, man, I got a couple guys I could send your way to do your show. And we did one last week with Eric, Legendary Pred. And then he was like, hey, man, I got Chris Rivers. And I'm like, okay. I was like, man, thanks. And then I'm like looking, he sent me your IG account. And I'm like, bro, I like this big Pillin son. I'm like, wait. He said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't say it. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, that's dope. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, I'm so hyped. Hey, because I remember, I think about your dad, and when he dropped his first album, I was in Seattle. I was my, yep, I was in Seattle, and the popular song, the date, kind of the club banger that he put out there. God, I'm drawing a blank. Still not a player no more. Yes, that one. That dropped. I was in Seattle like 98, 99. Every time I went to the club, they're banging it. Radio banging. I'm banging it, on the radio, in my truck. So it was just like, that was that song. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I mean that was, and then just I say the cloud blows that he had. He had what, Joe, the R&B singer at that time, was in that song there. That was just, he put that, him and Fat Joe, working out together. I was like, this is, that's when I started to get into New York rap. I was expanding my horizon of New York rap, and now understanding along with, because I was already into Biggie, and then when your dad and Fat Joe came out. Yeah, I was like, because I was born in Nebraska, but I grew up in Los Angeles, and so I had that West Coast kind of indoctrined into me. I couldn't buy it. Yeah, yeah, and then we already know about that, how that went down, how that got started, unfortunately, and yeah, we don't even want to go down there. But how we, and then so starting the our conversation with you. So we always ask every guest, what was your origin story of playing video games? Like, who got you playing video games? What game was it? And then how old were you when you first got going? Oof.
Is actually one of my managers. He sat down with me on I remember vividly, like on the stoop. And I forgot I'm a 4-year-old. I forgot what I was feeling down about that day. I don't know what 4-year-olds get sad about. But he came up to me, he's like, yo, man, like he bought me a gaming system, and the first game he gave me that was actually my mind, he gave me Yoshi's World.
Okay.
And I got so into just Yoshi and that whole thing. But I would say the biggest thing that touched me, and it's still my favorite fighting game to this day, was Tekken, right?
Ooh.
My father, he used to love playing Tekken in the crib, right? And he was the type, like he was definitely a sore loser, but he would pick Paul. He would pick
Paul. Paul was a beast.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He picked Law. He picked Law.
Oh, Law.
And
yeah,
he would just wreck everybody in the crib with Law, right? Everybody in the crib with Law. And he was undefeated in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one day he was like, yo, get on the sticks. So I got on the sticks and I picked Paul.
Uh-oh.
And when I say I was button mashing, I never knew how to play, but Paul is so strong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, his forward smash, and like 3 of those landing solid will end you. And when I say I got so lucky, but I beat him in this first L, right? And he did not take it well. He sent me upstairs. He kicked everyone out the house. It was like game night over, party over. Like, he took the L, and I went upstairs feeling so big in the mirror. I'm there like, yeah, I'm the Tekken man. Like, and since then I was so into Tekken, and that game, man, like, and brought it back in in middle school. My boys used to come over. We used to break night all night, just practicing combos. I learned King's whole screwdriver combo. I learned the depth grade, like just severely getting into it, breaking night and doing this stuff. So like, yeah, like, but I would say that was my origin story of it, because I got so competitive.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I always liked difficult games. Like, I'm like a Dark Souls completionist. I'm like I love very difficult games. And when I look back,
nice.
Tekken is probably one of the most technical, difficult fighting games out there. So like, yeah,
right.
that's what really molded me in that as a young kid, for sure.
Oh man, I love it, man. As soon as you said Tekken, I'm like, oh, because that's the only
so you
fighting
get
game
hype.
That was the only fighting game when I was in college that I was good at. Street Fighter, I got torched. I got beat down in Street Fighter. Killer Instinct, I got destroyed. But then when Tekken,
Bloody Roar, all
that, I would get beat up. I don't know if it was the buttons and the timing, or I didn't understand my spacing.
It's weird.
It was weird. But then when Tekken came out, I started just destroying my teammates. They were like,
it was fluent.
They were like, AG.
Like,
They were like, what are you doing?
Like,
right. It was real fluid.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and I still appreciate the other games, but it's certain, I always compare it to Tekken. Like, I play Mortal Kombat, I'm like, oh, like, it's cool, but it's a little stiff. Like, like the characters feel stiff and like certain things, but like, yeah, there's something about the fluidity and the complexity of Tekken that's just, and I guess the nostalgia for me, but I just love it. But I main Yoshimitsu, if anybody want to know, and that's where I be
dangerous.
At,
he got them swords.
Yeah, he's tricky. He's tricky.
Them swords are dangerous. My guy is Eddie Gordo. And then
you like that capoeira?
I like that capoeira, and then my second guy is Paul. Him and Paul, like I would
Paul.
go.
Yeah. Also, you know.
I know Paul.
He got me my first W. My first W.
And then I like, and then Law's Dragon Kick. That little black.
Yeah.
He flips back, pops up, hits you. Oh man.
Yeah. He's sick. They always have a Bruce Lee type character in the games, which they should.
Yeah. Sorry, John. We're getting all excited about Tekken right now.
I love this. I love this talk, man. You guys are passionate about Tekken. Do you still play Tekken, or when is the last time you played Tekken?
So for me, it was shortly before I moved. And unfortunately, where I'm at right now, I should have asked. I didn't know to ask certain questions, but the internet where I'm at is so poor that I can't play online competitively without there being like, so it irks me so much. So it's probably been like a good 6 months since I actually but before I moved, I was on there like every day online. I was max rank. It was like a thing, and people would come. It got to the point that like my cousin, he's a Marine, and right before he went to the Marines, like the way I grew up playing games was like show no mercy to anybody. That's how I got good. If I didn't play a game, all my friends played the game, they would show no mercy, and that's how you get good. You overcome, right?
Yep.
So I'm that dude in the game, especially to all my little cousins. Like, Chris is unbeatable, man. I can't beat Chris. He didn't beat me once in his entire life. Right before the day before he goes to the Marines, we're all hanging out at my friend's house. He put on this One Piece game actually, and we're all playing, and he genuinely beat me one round. I beat him like 10 times, but he beat me one round. When I say this kid got up and he cried, and he was like, "You have no idea!" Like, he wanted this for so long, and then right before he went to go be a Marine, so like it was just a big moment. Like, like that's how intense. Like we really get into the games, man, and I like to be competitive, but. Yeah, it's intense. It's intense, but it's probably been a good 6 months since I played Tekken, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit for me. Because I've been more into the Halo and Madden and getting ready for Halo Infinite dropping here in a couple weeks. So I've been I say grinding on that, getting my rank up. But right now, now I'm at Platinum 6. Got some work to do. Got to get up there high. Before.
Oh, you that guy? You that guy?
I try to be that guy. I try to be. That's all I can say. I try to be that guy in Halo, but I'm not like some of my greenies. The people that follow me in my Twitch chat and on my Discord, they're called my greenies. So some of them, like Denai, he's a beast. He is really good at the game. He actually has an organization he's trying to get going down in Chicago area and be a Halo organization. That. So there's some good players down here. So around there. So
man.
So
it's
John,
so good starting those.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, John, you got a question here about with Chris here. Throw that out.
Yeah. So, do you mind if we play a little bit of your single? I think you put this out in July.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so let me bring this up. This is Chris's single. It's called Shine, and I want to just play a little bit of it, and then just kind of get your thoughts on or get some thoughts on what you were trying to convey here in this single. Okay, let me see if you guys can hear this. Hold on. We good?
Woke up up on a new day. Yo, girl, then I get up in that booty, yeah. Little something for the Blu-ray. Smoke clips, all the voting with the news say, yeah. Started popping cause I do things. Say they love me, but it's subtle when the mood change, yeah. I'm befuddled by the humans. Leave Earth, catch you fucking on the hubble with my boot thing. New K, kicks through the roof. If your roof ain't hit, then you lose. Cool chain hit, then you lose. Mind is success is the key goal. Hit a nigga with your dreams and a deep throw. You could hang, do your thing. I ain't got too much fame. We the same, heads in pain. Using too much spray. I walk outside in the public, fly like colors. Ooh, I love it. Fuck a who done it. I ain't never frontin'. Sheep start buzzing. Yeah, we run. Yeah, we run outside to the money. Self-love stunning. Long as I'm stunning. And I stay blunting. Bitch, you bugging. Yeah, you can step up to me if you want it. I bring the plot that drift inside my mind. Never feel the plot that sits inside the lines. But I define existence. I'm divine, then pigs rolled up and tweet us like we're swine. Chains and whips is artificial binds, and a basic bitch can father if she's fine. Dumb nigga smarter if he shines, and we're convinced that money equals time. Knock that nigga out, daddy told me how. Facts, confident as fuck. Mama told me proud. Facts, diamonds in the rough, we got the glow, we out. Facts, diamonds in the rough, we beat the diamonds in the rough.
I have so many questions for you on
That's
this.
fire,
Just
man.
Yeah.
That's clean.
your
I love
songwriting-
it. I love it.
like your songwriting process, the music video process too. Like, how's that all work for you? Like, let's just start with the song. Like, when you're writing a song and writing a rap, how does it all begin?
So for this one specifically, shout out to Rod, the producer. That's off a project I got called Gitu, which is an acronym for Greatest in the Universe. And the whole concept of the project was an affirmation, you know, like for people who suffer from mental illness or mental health issues, or even me growing up with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. Calling, looking in the mirror and reminding myself, for telling myself, for picking myself up, saying like, you could be the greatest, like you're the greatest in the universe. It was an affirmation for me. So I wanted a project to kind of embody that. And that song Shine was super important and dope because even the concept of the hood, like we're diamonds in the rough, like and growing up, especially me, like growing up in the hood or even in the Bronx, and everything around you is like kind of desolate and kind of dim. Like even the walls in the projects, they're all neutral colors and it's bricks and there's barely any greenery or anything that shines in it, and it's so easy to get kind of encompassed in that feeling of feeling dimmed, you know what I mean? But we all got that inner glow and that shine inside of us that's important to let out. So I wanted to kind of conceptualize that. And like I said, shout out to Rob, the producer, for that one. He kind of sat down and told me like, it's so great when you work with a producer and a really good one on a project, because we're just there, we're playing Super Smash Bros. And we're just talking like, yeah, like, hey man, like how you want this to feel on stage? And I told him like, yo, I want something to feel triumphant. I want it to be like high energy, but I want there to be like impact on people's hearts. So that he starts getting in there, he starts making a beat, and as he's making the beat, I'm getting flows, like it's not even fully done yet. And I start writing. So at first I do this thing where I realized like I used to be so focused on just the words that I realized that, and it helped me become a really good rapper and writer. But when you're like super lyrical, metaphysical, like that's cool for some people, but for a lot of people, they just hear you, they don't listen. That's 90% of the population. They hear it, but they don't listen. So because they're just hearing it, the first thing they hear is the beat and the flow. So that's almost not more important than the words, but you want to get that strong and then the words come. So what I do is when I hear a beat playing, I start mumbling to find pockets. Pockets are flow patterns inside the beat. So I start mumbling. So I'm not restricted to thinking about words. I'm just trying to find the right pocket of flow that just feels so right to me. So I'm there, I'm just mumbling it, and I record some scats. We call it scats, like mumbles of it. And then once we get like, yo, that flow, that pocket is crazy, I pick that flow in our pocket and I start filling it in with the words and making sure that everything I say really, really matters or means something real to me. And at that point, now I prioritize the beat, I prioritize the flow, because that's the first thing people are gonna listen to. And then if you have someone that's actually paying attention, they're like, yo, like he's actually saying dope stuff. So that's kind of how I approach writing a lot of times. So I could check a lot of those boxes for people who's really paying attention and for the people who just kind of playing it in the background,
That's so cool. Like we talked to Big Crit, I think, earlier, right, Ahman? And he kind of said the same thing is, because I just from a novice not doing this at all, like you just think like you sit down, you write something and then you put it to the beat, but many times it's finding the flow. And I think that's so cool because like you said, when you hear a good beat and a good flow, the words work, no matter what you're kind of rapping about, the words will work.
Yeah, there's a song by Ryan Leslie. I always go back to it. It's called Gibberish or Mumble. I forgot I forgot what it's called exactly, but it's on one of his old projects, and he released it as just a scat of just him, like he's not saying any words, but it sounds so amazing. And it goes to show that, like, yo, like, as if the vibe and the words are right, it's great. Shout out to Styles P and D Block and and Poobs. He was one of the producers and engineers that they had. And I'm in there learning from a lot from them. And there's a beat that's playing and it's epic. And they want me to hop on it. And there's everyone's on it. And I'm there like trying to write something crazy. And Poobs go up to me. He's like, yo, bro, you see this right here? This is him bopping to the beat. He's like, you see this right here? He's like, all you have to do is not fuck this up. He's like, oh, you have to, if you go in there, you start rapping and you mess this up right here, that's where you fail. You don't have to worry about being so incredible. So like, all you really have to do is not mess this up. If you put all the other stuff on top of it, that's great. Kudos to you, but you're gonna do a great job if you just don't mess that up. And I realized how important that was, man. Like, and sometimes, don't get me wrong, there's times where I might write a whole verse without a beat and I find a beat to it, or it just kind of, you know what I mean? But for when you're trying to make good music that people can feel, you have to realize what they're looking for. And they're looking for a good flow, a good beat, a good time, and then a smaller percentage is looking for really good content. And you can cater to all of them, for sure.
That's amazing. I love the process. It shows your passion. It shows what exactly you know to do to get the music to sound the way you want it to sound and how we want to, process it or ingest it. I hear that. I hear that coming out of you.
It's so difficult because it's a creative thing. Like it's art,
Yeah.
So it's hard to fit art into like a formula, But there's certain things that are. Even though it's very loose and creative, but even you, like you're an athlete, like like what like a certain things that build up other stuff, or if you do a certain move, how someone's gonna react or how to get a certain reaction out of something. Yep. And it's the same thing with music, where you kind of have a lot of free range, but you want to check off boxes, you want to hit certain points. And I say that all the time, like, yo, just make sure you say what you mean, because if you believe what you're saying, other people's gonna believe it. You know what I mean? And make sure when you're saying it, you say it in a way that's digestible. I could be saying the dopest stuff in the world or the most pivotal things in the world, but if you speak Japanese and I'm saying it in English, you're not gonna understand what I'm. It doesn't matter what I'm saying. Right. So you gotta learn how to speak the languages, and that's where target demographics come in. It's like, yo, who am I talking to? Who's my fan base? What are they into? And how could I deliver this message to who I know is listening in a way that's most efficient, you know what I mean? But then to not get lost in that you sacrifice your, who you are, your creativity. So it's a lot of balance, but it's fun at the end of the day, man. You just got to always have fun with this, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
I definitely agree with that last comment, having fun. So we could hear it in you. So what is it about hip hop and rap that you love about it that gets you going every time you get working on an album or just listening to your music?
Yeah, I think I get most inspired when I really have something to say, and that's why it's so important for artists to. There was a thing called burnout, and they expressed it a lot in writer's block, where it's like, yo, I don't feel like nothing's coming out, and that's because you haven't filled your well. It's important to fill your well, your inner well, where you have to have life experiences, you have to have things that you feel inspired by. So if I'm feeling like I don't have much to write about, I make sure I start watching new movies or new shows, or I start reading more books, or I start getting into other stuff, or interacting and having conversations. And when I find something that I'm really passionate about, that I want to talk about, that's kind of what drives me to make a new project and to do that. And plus, I'm just such a nerd with words. I grew up fat. And I grew up, like I was poor, so I didn't have nice clothing, and I didn't have a lot of like stuff that I can like fashionable things that I could put on myself. So my fashion and the way that I made myself unique was the words that I used. Like I wouldn't say big, I would say magnanimous. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say like I'm mad angry. I would say like I'm livid, I'm furious. Like I would speak in a way and learn so many words that I added textures and creativity with words, and I realized how powerful words were, where you can make someone happy, you can make someone cry, you can and I had a natural talent for it and kind of a nerdness with it that I felt like, yo, like I could really help a lot of people, because a lot of times growing up I felt alone. So when I make music, I'm like, yo, like I want everyone to know, like, yo, like you, no matter how alone you feel, there's someone out there that feels like you. Maybe my songs will help. And I've had many people hit me up saying my songs either saved their life or get them out of a dark place, or made them feel something, or just excited or inspired to rap. So I just make sure that, I always stay true to myself. And if I have something to say, I'll go out there and say it doing my best, not doubting myself. You know what I mean?
Right. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Yep, you're welcome.
How long have you wanted to be in the music industry and be a rapper? Has that always been something since you can remember, or is there something Was there a moment that
it's funny.
changed?
Since I started when I was 6 years old, it's been like 22 years since I've been rapping. Since I started when I was 6 years old to this day right now, I just turned 28 on Monday. I still don't want to be in the music industry. Never did. Like it's one of those things. Like I like rapping. I like words. But people have a misunderstanding of like creating art and creating music and the music industry. They're two different things. And it sucks that you have to navigate the music industry in order to make money with it. Like I would love music more if I wasn't trying to make it something that was I'm sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We just the screen.
Yeah, we got you.
I got to flip around.
Yeah, someone tried to FaceTime me. Sorry. I would love it way more if it was one of those things where music becomes difficult when you try to make it the thing that you're making money off of. Prior to that, it's a hobby and it's something that you just love to do, right? And when I grew up, after my father passed, I knew I wanted to support my family. Granted, I was only 6 years old, but I still felt inside like, yo, like I wanted to. And the only thing that I saw him do to support the family was music. So I'm at the point like little kids say stuff all the time like, yo, I want to be a fireman. Right? And you're like, oh yeah, when you grow up, you're gonna be a fireman. But imagine if you're like, yo, I want to be a fireman. They're like, oh, word? And they put you in a fire truck. And now you're stopping fires, like, because they had but that's how I was with music. I was like, yo, I want to be a rapper. But since my father was who he was, and we had all people around us, everyone was like, all right, cool, let's do it. So I'm in the booth when I'm starting there, and I had to learn gradually that I was like, oh, like this is really a business. You have to treat it a certain way, and you have to navigate certain things, jump through hoops and politics and stuff like that. But I would say right after high school was the time where because I was on and off for a bit as a kid, but right after high school I got to the point where I was like, yo, everyone's graduating, we're going to college, everyone's getting jobs. I'm like, what do I love to do? Like, is there something I love? Like, I don't want to just follow societal guidelines and just go to college, get a 9 to 5 and just work and then die. Like what's something that I have passion for? And at the time it was music and boxing, so I started pursuing them both, and I ended up just sticking with music more so, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it was right after high school. I was like, yo, I want to do something I like, man. And that was the point, man. I was probably like 17.
Okay.
Is there a way to separate the music industry from the the artist side of that? I mean, have you, or are they always just going to be intertwined in some way?
It's degrees of it being intertwined. So like, it's a lot less today. Like you have to, like, radio is so much less important today, which radio was a huge thing and a huge like kind of obstacle to overcome and trying to smooth certain DJs and certain things. But with the rise of the internet and certain streaming platforms and even social media platforms as well, you're able to sort of rely on like, yo, can I be personality, which kind of now created this hybrid artist today where most people can't just do one thing and be successful. You can't just be a rapper. You also have to know how to do tonal stuff. Look at the biggest rapper in the world right now, Drake. He doesn't just rap, he also sings. And then you have other artists that's getting into gaming and streaming. And then you have other ones that's doing podcasts and pranks and all this other stuff where you kind of have to become this full, well-rounded, branded package. And then you put it out there, and that's how you kind of you can navigate away from the industry and all those loopholes, because now you built up a cult following yourself that's going to stick with you when you post. So it's straight you to the people. There's no middleman trying to facilitate that. And I think that's the best way to do it. If you get creative enough to get people to love you for who you are, then you kind of don't need much other people. And you kind of have to get it, not have to, but like everyone wants to be a Drake where it's like, yo, I want to make 50 million a year off of music. Like, but it's like, yo, bro, like if you made, let's say, hell, like $200,000 off of music every year, that's very good.
Yeah,
that's very good. $100,000.
That's awesome.
That's great.
For doing something you love. You know what I'm saying? That's great. So it's like, yo, like figure out how to do that. So okay, cool. I want to make $100,000 this year, right? So say you had $1,000 worth of product, you got to sell it to 100 people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do the numbers.
Or if you had $100 worth of product, you got to sell it to 1,000 people. You know what I mean? So can I get 1,000 hardcore dedicated fans that if I came out with $100 worth of product this year, whether that be merch or music or meet and greets, whatever it is, can I get 1,000 people to purchase that?
Right.
and figuring that out. You know what I mean? So and so it's about navigating your goals, getting them on paper, knowing what real is, and knowing how to get from A to B in a realistic way. And that's how I would tell a lot of people now. Like, it's important to dream big, but don't forget to look at right in front of you and see how to get from point A to B. And you'll get to Z if you keep doing that along the way. But definitely, that's how I would say we'll do it, man. Build your own following.
Yeah, that's great. Great information right there for the listeners and the viewers here. Just have a game plan. Have a plan laid out in front of you. Is basically what you're saying, and then don't try to overextend yourself because you see other people in this industry or in your industry doing this to become famous or make money. Do you? That's where that phrase comes from.
Yeah.
Do you? You do yourself. Do you? And what you love to do and what you like to do. And like for me, I relate that to me and what I did for 12 years in the NFL. I played football because I loved it. And I know, to be honest, I tell my agent all the time, man, I was like, I would do this for free, really. Because I'm getting notoriety because I get to run into people and score a touchdown and then spike a football. I was doing that when I was a kid, in the front yard. So, okay, no problem. He said, don't tell the team that, though. But I don't care.
Still make that bread.
Right, still make that bread. But it's really like, you know what? Like you said, I don't care. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I got the respect of the guys who I'm playing with and against. When I put that football in my hand, people know, like, okay, we got a guy, he's going to run hard. He's going to do this. He's a smart player. He's going to help it. He's going to block, the linebackers coming in. So it's just, I definitely understand that and relate that. And that's, I say, good information for people to know. Like, when you got all these different things out there, like you said, you mentioned, if you're a rapper, you may have to, be a gamer, you might have to, put your own product out and distribute yourself. Which is a thing of the music industry. When people are trying to get on a label, they're not on a label. They're still working and doing their own thing. But sometimes there's different ways you gotta, find yourself, find yourself and do it the way you want to do it, basically. And I know,
very true.
Yeah, I know another thing that you talked about that you're passionate about that you do is astronomy. So tell us about how that interest came into your life and how you got going in that area.
So, as a kid, that was actually my first dream, was to be an astronaut. Like, I always thought, like, and I don't know if it was me, like, just like being bored with Earth and just like, yo, I just wanna go out there. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Seen it,
but like, I
heard the book is better. I heard the book is good.
The book is amazing too. But like, it just blew my mind. I'm like, yo, I would love it if aliens came down right now and I was able to just explore the whole, just the boundless cosmos. And when I started learning about, because I'm really into magic too. Like, I do low level magic tricks, card tricks, and stuff like that. But people, when you study magic, you realize it's like, yo, like, this is just, fooling the eyes, or it's things that magic is basically something that you don't fully understand. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's things that eventually that seem like magic that we uncover with science, and we call it science, but it's still magic. And when you see a dude get your card or pull a rabbit out of a hat, you're like, yo, that's amazing. But when I learned something about like black holes, and it's like, yo, like, it's like, if I took this area right here and put my hand in it and ripped the space open, that there's a hole here and light can't escape it. It's like, that to me is amazing. Like, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm like, how are people not mind blown about this? Like, you're going about your regular lives on a day-to-day basis and you find certain things. So I'm like, yo, there's literal holes in time and space that collapses gravity to the point that time shifts differently around it. If you spend a moment in a black hole, thousands of years will pass. Like, there's different time fluctuations and it just blows my mind when you start getting into it. And there's still so much that we don't understand, that I just got so infatuated with it. So I started reading books. I found watching documentaries. Shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's also from the Bronx. He's so good on bringing astronomy and astrophysics to a place where the average person could understand and listen to it. He has a podcast and many shows that's out, and just stuff like that. And I just got so into it and just lost into I learned so much stuff. I actually have a whole a sleeve of the universe on me, and it's just it's poetic and it's beautiful to me at the same time. Mm-hmm. And as I learn more and more, it just continues to be that. But yeah, I got into it at a young age, man, and I just got obsessed. I don't know why, but it just intrigued me.
Right. That's
so cool.
That's awesome.
It's so cool. I think it's kind of weird too that at night, like, there's a big rock floating in the sky, and we just like, hey, look at that big rock. And everybody's just cool with it. Like, there's something floating in the sky and we just go about our lives.
Right,
It's
right.
weird.
And it's like we accept it, you know, like we accept it and we kind of desensitize ourselves to it because we have a day-to-day life that we're going, but
Yeah.
we're really these creatures floating on a rock that's rotating, spinning around the sun, that's also flying through space at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. Like we're hurtling through space while spinning and while rotating, but our feet is planted to the ground because of gravity, and we're here and we're flying through the universe, man. And there's so much going on around us that we can't even fathom the size of the universe itself. And in a sense, it kind of it makes you feel insignificant, but at the same time, when you realize like most of the chemical compounds of humans is nitrogen, hydrogen, things like that, which is the most common compounds that's found in the universe. We're literally products of stardust, exploding stars that sent these particles across the universe, landed on Earth, and then we developed through it. Like we literally are the embodiment of stardust and space and the universe itself. And I like to say that like humans are the universe experiencing itself through the lens of a person. You know what I mean? And like we're experiencing, you know, and it just blows. It really like it can make you feel insignificant, but when you change your perspective a little bit, you realize like, yo, like I'm everything at once. I'm just experiencing this through my eyes. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful, man. It's really beautiful.
That I was just gonna say,
awesome.
One of my favorite Neil deGrasse Tyson quotes is if you Google this or YouTube it, it's the most astounding fact. And he was asked, what is the most astounding fact about the universe? And he said that stars, you know, collapsed, then exploded. I got it right here, scattering their enriched guts across the galaxy. Guts made out of carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life. These ingredients became part of gas clouds. He goes through the whole thing that condensed, collapsed, blah, 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 blah. And then he says, so that when I look up at the night sky and I know that, yes, we are part of the universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps the most important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. We are the embodiment of all these stars and
That's a
everything.
fact.
That's crazy. When the way he says it 1,000 times better than
he has
I
a great
did,
voice,
right there.
and he's so good at it. But and that's a fact, and I think people will find a lot of value in that if they realize like, yo, like we are astronomical occurrence of the highest caliber. Like the fact that we are here right now is a 1 in 000 to the trillionth power like percentage. Like we beat the odds just to exist. And that to me is just amazing, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you because, like, when you first started what you're saying, every now and then, when I take my garbage down to the curb at night, I'm looking at the stars. When I've had a bad day, I go, "Just come pick me up, bro." I'm like, "What y'all? I know y'all up there. I know y'all can hear me.
I know y'all out there. Yeah.
I know y'all out there. Come get me. Get me off of this planet, this rock for about a day, so I can have a better day because I just had a terrible day." Just come grab me,
man.
You know, because I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I know it's just too much going on around us, technology wise, to what created the universe. Like we all just like you and John just mentioned, to not think that we're sitting here just chilling by ourselves as a species. No, if you believe
mathematically it doesn't make sense.
It
man.
doesn't.
There's got to at least for me, you know what I mean. And another dope fact that I like to tell people, which is amazing, like because you look up at the stars at night and you see them, but you're watching playback of stars. That's not what you're actually watching. Because light. The only reason we see things is because the light travels. For instance, our own sun, it takes 8 minutes for the light from our sun to reach us. So you're always watching the sun at an 8 minutes ago, right?
8
so
minute
most
lag,
of the stars
pretty much. Like a lag.
Yeah, it's an 8 minute lag.
Yeah.
So it depends on how long the light. So some of the stars that we see are millions of light years away. Light year is just a measurement of how far our light travels in a year. So if it's a million light years away, we're seeing that star a million years ago. You know what I mean? So like it may be gone already. It may have already went supernova. It may have already like everything's already shifted. So we're literally watching the playback of the universe on rewind, and we could peer far enough into the universe and see back in time. And it's stuff like that where I'm like, yo, y'all beefing about love and hip hop, bro. Like this shit going on. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, but no one cares, man. I just be here alone, just geeking out, man.
No, you ain't alone. You ain't alone. I'm there with you.
Oh yeah, no, we ain't alone.
You ain't alone. Because I think they'll say
We got to figure out a way how people can make this more like, I don't know what it is, but you're right. Like, shouldn't everybody be talking about this? Shouldn't everybody be talking about the things that you're
Yeah,
talking
man.
about?
The fact that the CIA released like 21,000 files, some of it encrypted, but a lot of it exposed, that basically they were being straight up like, hey man, like, you know, there are UFOs, there are that, like, there may be like we've experienced a lot, and it got released during the pandemic, and it just kind of got swept under the rug. Like, no, I'm like, no one's talking about this. I'm like, how? I'm like, this is happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they did it in such a way that was just like, like, and no one covered it. And it's just like, yeah, man, like no one pays attention. I don't know how to get people to care, but I'm like, to me, it's just like, yo, how could you not? Like,
Right.
this, yeah, but it's cool, man. It's cool.
I'm in. I'm aboard that. So
Yeah, that's a fact.
we could talk about that one forever, bro, because there's so much stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure,
out
for
there
sure.
in the world. But I know another big thing, different universes. You talking about universes and different information, but different cool stuff is that you're into anime, man. And
Yeah.
what you got on there? You gotta explain what your sweatshirt on real quick.
So shout out to AD Roman. You can find him on TikTok. He does these. This is he knitted Anel. I don't know if you see Anel is a character from One Piece.
Right, One Piece.
And you see him there.
Yep, I see it.
A cool thing about Anel, actually, Oda, the creator of One Piece, he actually got inspired by Eminem, and he based this character on Eminem, Slim Shady, and which is out here, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he actually looks like Eminem. But he was one of my favorite characters in the earlier arcs of One Piece, Scott Pia. And so I got him, and I'm trying to get a sweater in each color with kind of like, I usually don't pick like the main character, like an obvious one. Like I wouldn't pick Luffy or like the MC, but I like to pick someone who like I really love in a show like that. Only if you really watch it or really like you be like, yo, I know who that is. You know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, I'm really heavily into anime growing up a lot. I got into it as a kid. I started watching Dragon Ball Z like a lot of us. And I just started diving really, really into it. And yeah, it's kind of what I like to watch most of the time. Like if there's a new episode, I'm fiending for new episodes to come out of all the stuff that I like. Like, yeah, man.
Right. Yeah. I got a partner of mine I'm gonna get you connected with that works with Crunchyroll. He worked with me a couple of years ago. They did this big spread with athletes. It was myself, being one of the former athletes, but with current athletes, Mike Daniels that used to play for the Packers. I believe he plays with the Bengals or the Lions right now, and he was also into Dragon Ball Z as well. So they did a big spread.
Nice.
They put us in anime, like whatever show or characters that we watched. They did a version of us. So I was I told you, like I like Voltron, so they put me in a picture with Voltron and the five lions coming together. I'm like, oh man, this is dope hard. Right here. That's hard right there. So so I'll get you. I'll see you that information. Get you connected with them.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, anime it's a doorway into another world for me. I get inspired. I honestly get inspired. Like people can think it's nerdy. People think it's whatever, but I honestly find like motivation in the hero's journey. Like the hero's journey is something you see a lot in novels, a lot in real life, in our actual lives, and anime they really personify as the hero's journey, that overcoming, that trials and tribulations, and a lot of characters in anime truly inspire. I'm like, yo, like I gotta live like this dude, man. Like his self-talk is powerful, like his mantras. Like I'm like, yeah, you and those are the people that inspire me, and they may be fictional, but they produce real life results, man, and it's just entertaining.
Exactly. Very, very entertaining, cool looking, the special effects or the artwork, the design, and
craziness.
The fighting scenes, where
the fight scenes nuts, guys.
Like One Punch Man, he just one punch you.
Hilarious.
And it's hilarious. Yeah, it's funny, it's entertaining. So
yeah, One Punch Man is like satire, but it's like they did so good. Like, man, he's so powerful that it seems like the other people are the main characters.
Right.
Because they have more like the typical man, like Genos, like he's really trying to overcome. He has the dude that he's chasing, like the villain, all that stuff. And it's like, you almost forget that Saitama One Punch Man is even in it until like everyone gets washed and he comes and just like, and you think someone's gonna be a challenger, and then boom, it's over. Like,
it's a wrap.
You know what I mean? I'm like, which is hilarious. I'm like, yeah, man, this show is great.
Yeah.
One of my dreams is to I want to make a show one day. I'm actually writing it. But it's gonna take some time. But like, I'm gonna do it.
Take some time to develop and get your mind right on what you want to make sure whoever's watching it, they get where you're coming from. So speaking of speaking of fighting, so you mentioned it earlier, and we talked about it before off stream. So you're talking about getting yourself into boxing, correct?
Yeah.
fighting. So
Yeah,
explain that a little bit.
So I grew up. My father used to have us boxing as kids a lot, and as I grew up, I remember I would always fight with my friends, and I always had natural fighting ability, and I always just loved it. It's like kind of like a moving meditation for me. Like I'm actually at peace. I don't like violence. I don't just go up to people and just beat them up. But like when it's for the sport of it, you know what I mean, for the fun. And there was a time in high school where I actually had gotten jumped by these. By like 17 dudes because they were gonna rob this like 12-year-old on the bus, and I stopped them from robbing a 12-year-old, but I ended up getting jumped because of it on one of those mind your business type situations.
Right.
So like but I'm not gonna let them rob a kid, bro. Like I'm like 17 at the time, and yeah, man, they jumped me, and I hold my own. I didn't fall, I got hit by a car, all that stuff. And one of the people that the mechanics from across the street came, and a dude saw it from a building. And he came down and he broke it up, and all the dudes ran. And he was a Golden Gloves fighter, and he actually trained at Morris Park Boxing Gym, which is where I actually started. So after that, he was like, "Yo, man, like definitely, I saw you had some skills and you held your own and stuff like that. But like, if you want to," and at that point, I don't know if you ever been jumped before, but there's so much rage inside of you afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm like, man, like if I was on something like, I'm like, so I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna go actually, because again I had natural fighting ability and I fought with my friends and stuff, but I never actually went to get professionally trained. So after that, I went to the Morris Park Boxing Gym. I met up with a trainer named Lou DeVal, who's a former world champ, and he was training a lot of people. He was such an amazing trainer. He believed in me. He was like, yo, like you could be a champ. All this stuff. So like, and I was poor at the time, but he let me get free sessions, all that stuff, because he wanted me to become the champ. So I trained, I had a few amateur fights, and I just loved it. And then when I went to go do the Golden Gloves, this is what actually deterred me and leading me more into rapping. At the time, like when I'm massively in shape, like cut up, six pack, all that stuff, I'm still around 230, right? 230 pounds. So I would be a heavyweight. And at the time they make you do a whole physical for the Golden Gloves. And the dude, the doctor, he showed in my heart that there was signs of LVH, which is left ventricular hypertrophy, which basically is the left side of your heart. If it works too hard, it could result in heart failure. You could just drop dead, right? Okay. So he was like, yo, this also shows up in people who are heavier like yourself that work out a lot, which I was doing. He's like, the only way to confirm it is to do additional cardiovascular tests. And at the time I was homeless and I didn't have insurance, and the tests were coming out to like, I don't know why hospital tests are so much, but they were like $22,000. Mind you, I was eating like PB&Js once every 2 days. I didn't have $22,000 to do it. So I went back depressed. They didn't let me fight. I went back. My trainer, he got depressed and kind of shunned me a little bit, but due to him feeling disappointed that I was, because he really wanted me to be his champ. So I it was my dream to be a boxer. So I got so depressed, and I just left. I started getting away. I started leaning into hip hop, just rapping. A couple years down the line, I ended up getting, in a better place financially. I got insurance, and I'm like, yo, let me go check out my heart, make sure it's good. Got the heart check, man. When I said the doctor, like, yo, your heart is incredibly healthy. There's nothing wrong with it. There's also, which is a blessing, which is awesome, of course. But it turned out like, yeah, I was healthy. I could have fought, but I couldn't clear it. So after that, I was already so knee deep in the hip hop that I was like, you know what? So I started fighting just recreationally. I did that. I did boxing for a few more years. I did MMA for about 2 or 3 years, and I started training a bunch of my friends. I trained all my sisters, my mom, my lady. I trained her. A lot of my friends, I trained them as well. And I know a few other fighters. I sparred with them. I always stayed on it. But lately, after the pandemic, I gained a bunch of weight. I stopped fighting. I did a bunch of stuff. And recently, I just felt like, yo, it was always a dream that I had that I never fully accomplished. And I was like, yo, like, you know what? Like, I just turned 28. 28 is the age that my father died at, and he died of weight-related issues. So I was like, it was a big age for me. It was like, yo, like, I really actually want to break the generational curses of being out of shape or you know what I'm saying? So, like, and the only time I was really in shape was when I was doing what I love, which is fighting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take these next 2 years. I'm going to get into crazy fighting shape again. And I'm gonna start competing when I'm 30 at whatever level that is available for me there. But seeing all these celebrity fighters and all that stuff, I'm like, even if it's something like that, or even if it's something more actually serious, you know what I mean? I'm down to do it. So like, it's only been like I said, my birthday was on Monday, and since then I've been going hard body in the gym, boxing, and I actually have the Oculus. One of the gifts I got was the Oculus for my birthday, which is the virtual reality. The Oculus.
I know exactly
and there's
what
a
you're
fighting
talking
game
about.
in there. Oh my God, yo,
really?
It's called Fight Thing, and it feels real, bro. I mean, when I'm drenched in sweat in there, like in my living room, wilding out, like, yeah, like, so like I just been going ham. But hopefully in 2 years, you guys will see me in great shape, and I'll be able to fight at whatever level is available for me at the time. Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's
I was just
amazing,
gonna
Chris.
say, like,
Awesome.
you're at a
Love it.
you're at a perfect opportunity, because that opportunity to fight like other celebrities, right? To fight YouTubers, to fight music, like you get to, obviously do what you love in fighting. You
yeah,
do that, and then you can actually make money from that now too.
Yeah, and open up a world where you don't have to be a top level professional athlete to do it.
Yeah.
Which some people are upset about, but I think it's getting a good light onto the sport again. You know what I mean? And on top of that, like it's a great way to make a bag and to put yourself out there. So I get my skills are still here. I just need my stamina back. So like I said, I'll get in fighting shape in the next 2 years. If I'm going professionally, that I'll do that too. But if a celebrity want to challenge me, man, I'll knock them out too. Let's get it. Like, it's not a problem.
Yeah, because we were just talking. Remember before we started this stream today or the podcast that Frank Gore. I just found out Frank Gore and Darren Williams, and they both got fighting backgrounds since they retired from each of their sports.
They're athletes.
And they're athletes, being Darren Williams, a former point guard in the NBA. Frank Gore, I think he's third in NFL career rushing right now, in over his years on the NFL. And a friend of mine told me that Frank was getting into it. So to hear that and hear what you're doing, hey, so that's like, I think I might want to do this myself. I might want to help you out.
The world's aligning, man.
I know.
Like, why not? And I feel very encouraged when the universe sends me signs. Or like my mom always says, she says, take the path of least resistance.
Right.
And it's a powerful thing. And when you can kind of feel it, when the world, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is kind of pushing you in a direction that it seems like everything's pointing, like, yo, take the path, man. Like it's lining up. Like try it out. And I see it. Boxing's right in front of me. I'm gonna try it out, man. Like it's definitely gonna be fun.
Nice. So you said boxing's coming down the line. What else? So in the next year or two, what else is coming down the line outside the boxing?
Yeah. So musically, I just finished a project. I got a whole project coming out on January with a few of my good friends, Ahman Benjamin and Denzel Porter. They're other amazing rappers, and we actually there was this platform for doing freestyles called Team Backpack that was really huge at the time, and we were kind of like, we were in there. We kind of humbly, we set that on fire, like, and those ciphers they got so huge that that people were demanding a project from all three of us. And one's name is Oswin, I'm Chris, and one's Denzel, so we call it OCD, right? And it's just because we get obsessive with it. We're all dumb nice with it. So it's one of those things where and we did 3 ciphers, and the most recent one was like 4 or 5 years ago, and to this day there's people like, yo, we want that project so bad. I'm like, you know what, at this point, let's get it done. So we finished that project. It's amazing. That's coming out in January, so people get excited for that. And in 2022 as well, I'm just gonna really go ham, releasing projects way more frequently, and also singles and stuff. So building up the Spotify, etc. And once I get out of this place with horrible internet, I'm definitely gonna get on Twitch and gaming and stuff right now. But for now, like, definitely stay tuned for a lot of dope music and kind of I just got on TikTok and a lot of different types of skits and just personality stuff that I got coming. So just stay tuned, man. I encourage everyone to stay tuned because there's a lot coming.
Yeah,
sure.
That's great. There's a lot of great, I say, resources for us as creators. I mean, my biggest thing, I could play video games pretty good and I could talk. So that's why I'm on stream, doing my podcast and doing my gaming. I'm going to get back to it. I coach esports at the college level. So I found my lane and I'm comfortable there. So I love that you're doing that as well. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media, IG, Twitter, if you got a website or anything like that.
Yes, on IG, I'm on there the most. It's Dragons and Rivers, spelled just like that. The word, the mythical creature dragons, the word and the last name Rivers. And then on TikTok, it's Chris Rivers. I just got on there, and the website, Chris Rivers Universe. Definitely check all those out. But if you follow either one of the social medias, I'll keep you updated on everything. And I encourage that. My Twitter, I got to get back. I got locked out. I'm gonna find it, but definitely Instagram. Yeah, I love Twitter, but I'm like, damn, they locked me out. So I'm gonna find it. But yeah, definitely Instagram, and stay tuned. Like I said, I got a lot of music coming and different stuff. And it's important what you said, man. Definitely everybody find your lane. You don't have to be a one-trick pony. If you have a lot of interest, a way to combine them, if you're creative with it, you might find that lane that you could pioneer, or even that other people lay some path to and become very successful.
Exactly. I love it.
Sure.
I love it. So how much, I know you said about an hour You got a little bit more
Yeah,
time?
I got about another. I'm good until about 11:25, 11:30. The latest I could.
Okay, you could do this next segment with us. It's called This or That, and I think everybody could hear it now. There
Yes.
it is.
This or that.
All right, this is our fun conversation that we do, and John is going to mention the items you get to pick from. I started off slow, or I say easy, so you can kind of get the idea of what this or that is, and then we get into some fun questions, that areas that you know. So let's go.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
so
John.
this is all from the mind of Ahman Green, Chris. So if something's weird, you blame Ahman. Okay, if it starts to get weird. All right, this or that. We'll start easy. Skiing or snowboarding?
I'm gonna go with snowboarding because even though skiing is probably a little easier, snowboarding just looks way cooler to me. I feel like I look cooler, so I'm gonna go with snowboarding.
I'm with you as well. I think it looks cooler. I think having just the one board, not the two skis and the poles. I think that's too much going on for me. And it looks way cooler, and to hit one of them jumps. Actually, I trained a snowboarder probably like 8 years ago when I had a training facility, and he was
amazing.
like, he was in there. He's like, "What are you gonna do to help me?" I was like, "I know how to work on your core, to work on your balance." And he's like, "Oh." Then we start doing sit-ups and push-ups. He's like, "Yeah, you're right, Coach Green." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, see, I see."
Yeah. Respect.
Respect. So snowboarding for me. Snowboarding for me.
Yeah, fact.
What about you, John?
I would be awful at both of these. I don't know how to stop on skis. I haven't skied since I was a little kid. Snowboarding, I feel like I just fall over. But I think what Chris said is, like, I think you'd look cooler on a snowboard.
Yeah,
I'll go
I'm
snowboarding.
terrible. I'm terrible at both. Don't get me wrong, but I'll look cooler for sure.
I agree. I'm not
back.
great at it. I'm just saying, hey, I would try to do the snowboarding first. And to the Twitch chat, we got Big B says snowboarding. He said he fell too many times trying to ski. So it is all around, snowboarding is the way to go.
For sure.
And then two guys and two dogs and a guy says snowboarding all day. Just went to the Keystone in Colorado last weekend. Snowboarding is the move for me due to the past ACL tears. Oh, he had injuries, so there you go.
Oh,
so got to keep the legs together when crashing. Nothing like surfing on the snow. There you go. So snowboarding all around. Unanimous.
Everyone agrees. Yes.
There you go. All right, next item, John.
Hey, shout out to two dogs. Shout out to two dogs and a guy. I followed him on Instagram, on my John Cast podcast.
Me too.
Instagram, and I've seen the dogs. He posts the pictures of the dogs. So shout out to two guys.
Hell yeah.
And two dogs and a guy. Sorry. All right, this one I'm not gonna be good at either. Singing or dancing.
Man, that's so.
Because you kind of mentioned Drake, Drake, because Drake does his little singing / rapping thing, and so that confuses me sometimes. So.
Okay, so I feel like for my career, it'll be more effective if I learned how to really sing. Mm-hmm. I think singing also is incredibly powerful. Like I look at people who are singing, it's like, yo, that's a superpower. Like you're able to, I'm like, that's amazing. So I think for my career, I'll pick singing. If it was a personal choice, like if I wasn't a rap, I'll pick dancing because there's so many moments that I'm out. And then, I got rhythm, it's cool. But when I'm just like, yo, if I could just get in the center of the dance floor right now and just wall out, like robot worm, pop locking and crumping, like everything, I'll just feel so cool. You know what I mean? So personal choice, definitely that. But in real life, in my life right now, I'm going to pick singing because I think it'll help me more.
All right.
Sure.
John, what's your pick?
Jeez, man. I don't know. I guess I would pick singing. Like this, if I could, I think I'd pick singing as well. Dancing would be cool because everybody thinks you're cool if you can dance, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I'd pick singing because there's something about that you're able to, like, that's the instrument. Your instrument is your voice. You may not know how to play an actual physical instrument, but it's all within you. You are the instrument. So I think that's cool.
Yep. So I definitely know I cannot sing or rap, so I'm a backup dancer. I'm a dancing. I'm a dancing king. So when you need somebody, hey, just call AG up. I got you. I'm breaking down for you.
Let's go.
That's what I do. Dancing all day. In the Twitch chat, Big B says singing for him and two dogs and a guy. They said they got them vocals.
Let's go.
In the Twitch chat.
Nice. All
right, next one, John. So now you kind of got the rhythm of this or that. So now we're gonna get into some areas that you're in, and some people or places that you mentioned already is coming down the line. All right, so here we go, John.
Drake or Kendrick Lamar? Drake or Kendrick Lamar? This or that?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I hate you guys. So like,
I knew it was gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, and I've had this conversation, so I know the answer. And it's one of those things. I think that me personally, I'm gonna go Kendrick because I think that his pen game is incredible. His messaging, he's super high tier. I think Drake is unanimously the best artist at being successful in the last decade. He won Artist of the Decade, and he has an ability of, if you're measuring with a moniker of success, then it's Drake. But what I respect about Kendrick, and I'm saying I don't respect Drake for this, but what I respect about Kendrick is that he'll go controversial. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Drake, the reason why he's able to access so many people at the same time is because he never gets controversial. He always speaks about things that everyone has experienced, and it's never too dangerous or risky. It's always relationship stuff or emotional stuff, and he's amazing at it, top tier. But he'll never dive into, socioeconomics or political stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's a requirement, but when I listen to Kendrick, there's so much more depth there, and at a high frequency. So I'm gonna go Kendrick for a personal choice, and obviously the world choice is gonna be Drake. But they're both. If one's a 10, the other one's a 9.9. Like, it's almost impossible. I'm gonna go as a rapidy rap kind of guy. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kenny.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna give you a little headache right there.
But I hate y'all. Because I hate picking. Like, it's because there's a gun in my head. I gotta pick. Like, I'll be like, yo, they're both 99 plus players. Like, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, they definitely roll both. Their songs rolled in my podcast a lot. I say, but the one I say gravitated towards more than any of the two for me was Kendrick Lamar, K. Dot, because the way, like you said, his Kung Fu Eddie, the depth of his rhyme, the stuff he's talking about, and I could hear it. And me being a Cali kid too, growing up in Los Angeles area, and he's also a kid from that area where the things he's rapping about, I remember seeing. Things he had to do, I remember doing myself living in those neighborhoods. So it was just obviously more of a, that relation of the neighborhood, knowing that area, but then the stuff he's putting out there too, saying, things about himself, how he's got through that, and now he's being who he is.
Good Kid, Mad City, classic.
Right. So I would say K. Dot on that, and definitely I enjoy Drake. He got some good fire stuff out there, but definitely K. Dot all day. Kendrick Lamar. What about you, John?
That's awesome. Guys, I'm going to go with Drake, but I think Chris makes a great point about Kendrick Lamar. I'm going to go with Drake simply because Hold On, We're Going Home, that song.
Amazing.
I had that on repeat like a few years ago. That's the only song I literally just kept playing it over and over and over because I love it.
He's good for those. He's good for those.
Yes, he is. So I went with Drake just simply because of that one song that I could not stop playing.
All right, so two dogs and a guy goes Kendrick Lamar as well. And he said, though Drake dominates a good number of playlists I have set up, and then Big B also says Drake. So yeah, we got some good rappers. It's
not, split down the middle as it should be.
Exactly. There's no wrong pick there. All right, next item, John, what you got?
Damn, it's already
another musical item for you. Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez?
Damn, son. Just for music, not for their character or who they are.
Right.
Just for music. I'll go Ariana Grande. Mostly because I'm more familiar with her stuff, and say what you want about her as a person. I respect her vocal ability. Which is amazing. So I'm gonna go Ariana Grande. I'm gonna go Ariana Grande. I'll stick by that.
That was a tough one. I know. John, I know. That's my job. It's business, nothing personal. It's business.
Yeah, it's business.
I'm also going Ariana Grande. My daughter likes a couple Ariana Grande songs, and so I've been, throughout the last few years. And another song that I kept playing was Breathing by Ariana Grande. Yeah. And I like that vibe too. I like that sound. So I just kept playing that one over and over for a while. So I'm going to go Ariana Grande.
Yep, and I think it's all around unanimous Ariana Grande for myself as well. Just like the vibe that she brings. She's still, what's she in her mid to early 20s, somewhere in there, so she knows.
Yeah, mid to late. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and some of the rappers and singers of that in that age in bracket, kind of like where you're at right now, they have a good like feel, a good vibe, and it's positivity, but also saying some good stuff, some cool stuff when they're singing or rapping. So yeah, Ariana for myself. But to the Twitch chat, we got Big B. He comes out and says both are overrated. Man, wow. Okay.
Talk your stuff, Big B.
I know, Big B is like, explain. You got to explain that, Big B. Two Dogs and a guy says Ariana mainly due to that Mac Miller history collab that she did with him, I guess.
Yeah. Also, Mac Miller is he's one of my favorite artists ever. It actually hurt when he passed.
Yeah.
And the fact that they dated and on that song that she paid her homage and respect to him, I respected that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy. I know we got a couple more on the list here, John, of this or that. So where we're at next?
Yep. Next, this or that, SoundCloud or Amazon Music?
I'm gonna go SoundCloud because SoundCloud, for me at least, and for a lot of people on the come up, and especially when I first started, that's where a lot of people caught their break. SoundCloud was really able. You could even post stuff that you wouldn't be able to normally post on other streaming platforms that probably a little more like legitimized and monetizing and stuff like that, because SoundCloud was able, like, you were able to put, like, I could take a Kendrick Lamar beat or a Drake beat and still upload it as a freestyle and get like it go viral and that be a reason why something pop off. So I think SoundCloud was a lot of gateway. They've been calling SoundCloud rapper, SoundCloud, but it was really a platform for a lot of people who didn't know how to get on major streaming platforms or how to think, like to get on there and get their voices heard. So I think for what it did to the culture, especially my upcoming, like I think SoundCloud touched me a lot more.
Nice, John.
That's interesting because these are like two different goals, right? Like Amazon Music, you go there and you get all the songs you want to hear, create your own playlists, stations,
right,
all that. Well, SoundCloud can be podcasts, can be, like you said, Chris, like somebody who's just trying to get their foot in the door of the music industry.
Yeah.
So it's really hard because it's like two different things. But I'll go with Amazon Music because I do use that a lot just to stream my music and listen to that. But I mean, everything you say about SoundCloud is, I mean, it's from music to podcast to interviews to whatever you want to put out there.
And at the
it's
level,
pretty cool.
like if you're at a low starting level, you could still go on there and find something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, it's SoundCloud because for the same reasons, because I knew that, artists that are just trying to make it, from the bottom up hard, they could go there and put their music and drop it and not, come up with all the red tape that comes involved in, making an album and getting it dropped out there for people to listen to. And so the biggest thing is an artist wants to do is get the people to listen to, then they know they got a good product. And that's the biggest thing. So I'm going to go SoundCloud because of that reason. And so he says Apple Music wasn't even on the list. He just like, you know what? I'm going to make my own choice. Apple Music.
He's like, yo, screw to this or that. Is this or that? And
then some. There you go. And then some are those. There you go. And then two guys in the dog says
right.
SoundCloud for sure. That's what he says there. So, John, all right, what's up? What's left on the list here?
Two more left. You guys got to help me with the pronunciation here.
Okay, I got a little Spanish in my background. All right, so
you do that one.
Azul con gandeles, if I'm saying that correctly. Am I saying that right? And empanada.
Arroz con gandules?
Sí.
Yes.
There you go.
Arroz con gandules. Yeah, that's rice and beans. And beans.
Yep. And empanada dias, if I'm saying that.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so damn, that's really difficult because my mom's rice and beans is elite. And empanadas are, you know what empanadas are, right? They're just
the little square, got the meat like in the middle,
kind of
John.
The fried pockets.
Like a hot pocket,
but I'm gonna go empanada because, and people are gonna hate me for this, but like the rice and beans are made, but empanada is basically like an empty vessel that I've literally taken my mom's rice and put it in an empanada and fried it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's the possibilities there, the openness of it. You know what I mean?
The
like I'm gonna go there, and plus, like, Yeah. Plus, when after you leave the club at 2, 3 in the morning and you're kind of clapped and sauce, you want an empanada, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things. So I'm gonna go empanada for the munchies for sure.
I like it. I'm gonna go to arroz con. How you just say it? The last word.
Arroz
Con
con gandules. Yeah.
Gandules. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. Con means with. Arroz is rice. Gandules is the beans.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've had that dish with a lot of my stepson's friends that are Puerto Rican, and he brought up a big old container of it. I said, "What's this?" And they had little chunks of pork and beef in it too. I was like, "Oh, fire, caliente,
in there, man.
caliente."
Yeah.
Muy bueno.
Talk that.
Muy bueno. So yeah, I'm gonna go there.
Correct.
Yeah. So John, now you know what it is.
That sounds amazing.
What's your pick?
Yeah. I was gonna say, now that I know what it is, I'll go with the arroz con
gandules.
Man, I screwed it up.
Gandules.
Yeah.
That sounds delicious. And especially when you set them on, throw some meat in there.
Yeah, they have sometimes chunks of pork, chunks of beef in there.
Yeah.
You know, and you put the salsa, not the.
But if I'm being honest, I've had both. Like, I get the plate of the rice. I put the empanadas on the side with some other. Yeah, man.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
I'm like, in this one, it's both for me, baby. Yeah.
Can we wrap up the podcast so we can go
eat? Yeah, I know.
Two.
So we got the Twitch chat, 2 guys and a dog. Empanadas due to the versatility. He likes that. And Big B also empanadas as well. So empanadas is a guy. Actually 50-50. It's almost a 50-50 there. So
Yeah.
All right, last item on the list. We already talked about dance, so I kind of know where you're gonna go with this one. So we already talked about dance. So you're gonna like the other choice though. Here you go.
Okay.
Dance battle or cipher?
Oh man, cipher, bro.
Yeah.
Cipher, yeah. Just for me. I think dance battles are amazing too. But personal interest, like cipher, man. Especially when, here's the thing, man. Like it's so much. Like, imagine dance battling in your lunchroom. That's just like, oh man, what are you doing? Like, you know, but when I was growing up, we used to cipher at the lunchroom tables. We cipher in the class. We cipher like before waiting for a show. We all out there cold with our coats on. You make a circle and y'all start spitting bars back and forth with each other and playing with it. Like, obviously both are amazing, but for me, the where you could do it at any time and just the nostalgia for it. And yeah, I think anyone could get into it. I feel like if it's a dance battle and we're all in a circle, I don't really know how to dance, so I might go in there and just do something stupid real quick. But in a cipher, you might be really terrible, but everyone hypes you up. Like, if you say like, yo, the cat in the hat with the bat, they're like, yeah. So the next person,
they were like, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. Yeah, stay on beat. Yeah, like all that. So I'm gonna go cipher, but that's just me, you know.
All right. I kind of like, that was, freestyle rap, but then I was a dancer too. I was b-boying back in LA a little bit.
Yes.
So this is a tough. If I could rap, I'd definitely cipher. But I'm gonna go cipher because I like what the energy brings in cipher. Cipher is this. It brings it brings good rappers. That it just shows how good a rapper can be. The potential in it. So we're gonna go there. So I'm gonna ask you one more. I'm gonna ask you a question about the cipher. Mm-hmm. Who would the rappers be? Would you, if you could pick rappers to be in a cipher with you, who would it be? Who would that be?
Oh man, wow, that's amazing. Okay, from everyone that's alive, I would definitely. I'm going. It's obvious. I'm going Kendrick, Cole, Eminem, Lupe Fiasco, because he's just one of my favorite.
Right.
I need Andre 3000.
People sleep on him. People sleep on Andre.
Yeah. And that's 5. So I'll pick those and myself. Like if I'm sticking to 5.
Right. That's That's a fire cipher right there. You got Eminem, you got Andre. People sleep on Andre 3000, I think.
Man,
he's goated. Him. He is.
In my heart, he's goated. There's not a lot of people who could do what he does in the way that he does it. And shout out to Andre 3 Stacks, man. He's really something else.
Yeah, because I just seen him, or I heard him on a couple like recent collabos on some albums with people. So he's staying a little bit on the radar,
he's really just doing he doesn't really do a lot of his own stuff, but he's the guy that comes in, you hear him on a feature, and you love it. He kills every feature, and he like steps in and out. So,
Gotcha. Hey, Chris, man, we're wrapping it up. So I want to get you out of here because I know we're about at that time,
Appreciate
man. So I want to say thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you for coming in, sharing everything that you talked about from your, yourself, your father, your music, your anime, your the astronomy part though. That's where, hey man, I'm gonna send you my cell phone number so we could just, because I want to go in deep on that, below the ocean deep. That's how deep I want to go in, because people just don't know, man. It's like we on this rock, like you said, hurling through space. So we gotta continue. We gotta continue that conversation.
I got you, my brother.
All right, man. So you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, great rest of your year. We're gonna talk again, so because I gotta connect you with my guy over at Crunchyroll, and we gotta talk about the space stars and the stars and the galaxy and stuff like that, man.
Yo, you guys rock, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Hey, you're welcome, man. See you later, bro.
Appreciate y'all. Deuce.
Yeah, thank you.
Deuce. All right, man. That was fun.
That was awesome.
That was all my man Chris. Woo-wee. Like when he brought up when I saw astronomy in there, and I was like, what? Yeah. I do. I have them nights with John. I'm walking down to take out the garbage, and I'm like, just come take me. I know y'all watching. I see this one star by my house, and I'm like, that's not a star. I know that's a spaceship. Come on down. Y'all can hear me. I know y'all hear all of us talking. Come get me, please. Get me off this planet.
Posing as a star.
Yeah, just pose. I know that's not a star up there.
When he said astronomy before the show too, I'm like, I have to go find. I'm telling you, man, you got to watch this too. The way Neil deGrasse Tyson explains the most astounding fact, you're like, oh, it's so cool. It basically says that we are stardust.
Basically, I believe
it's so
science.
awesome.
It's science. If you don't believe that, you just not really. So, get you tuned in to what's going on around the gaming world. I know my game that I already mentioned like 2 or 3 times already did a release drop. They did a beta release. Halo Infinite dropped the beta. I say re-dropped it because it's been out earlier this summer, was playing it on stream, but now they did another release. So Microsoft and 343 Industries revealed that the competitive multiplayer portion of the game is now live on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC in beta form. So this marks the beginning of the first season of the game. Titles Heroes of Reach and all your progress will carry over forward into Halo Infinite when it officially comes out on December 8th, which is on Wednesday in about 2.5 weeks. So what I'm gonna be doing on a Wednesday. In the morning we'll do the show, but then after that, I can't do it like, hey, John, we're not doing the show today. No, I will do the podcast, and we're going to probably talk a lot about Halo that day. So Halo Infinite multiplayer is going to be free to play, which means you'll be able to jump right into the beta and start playing without need for putting down $1. So if you like to, you will like that. You can pick up the campaign when the full game releases out on December 8th. Through it will include, that's also included in the Xbox Game Pass, which I have as well. So if you have Xbox Game Pass, woohoo! You don't have to go get the hard disk, but I'm gonna still go get the disc because, as you know me, that's my thing, John. Just in case the end of the world comes and we don't have no power, or we have power but no internet, that I'm gonna still play Infinite and all the games. So while the beta is officially out now, it looks like many would-be players are running into issues because it's still the beta. They're still working through the little gremlins that are running around the coding of the game. So with the launching of the game, the issue appears to go back to the full install itself and not being live yet. So a smaller placeholder app instead living where the Infinite client is supposed to go. We attempt to install and launch so you can reattempt. You can install it on your PC and then relaunch it there with Halo Infinite multiplayer, but not only a small blue window title was called Game Stub Windows may pop up. So if you get that, just kind of, be patient. Don't get mad. Okay. It's the internet, it's computers, and it's the beta. It's kind of the lab. It's still labbing it up. So if you're having trouble online, the 343 Studios site says it has a complete overview of what is available in the beta, so you can start and get ready to play. The current list of known issues does not include booting up to a blue screen, and which hopefully means it is in a fix real soon. So there you go. I saw that. I think it was Monday night. I was like, oh my God, they playing. They got it. I downloaded it. Yes, Halo is here. I'm loving life. Life is getting a little bit better here.
If I get a text on December 8th that says, "Hey, can we push the podcast to Thursday?"
You gonna
I
know why?
Exactly what's,
You
I
know why?
exactly what's happening. Ahman got into Halo,
Yes.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you got going on, John? What you find out there in the world today?
Do you remember G4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Video Game Network.
Yep.
That was on air for 12 years, 2002 to 2014. But guess what? G4 is back. They've relaunched the video game channel. It can be found in Verizon, Xfinity TV, Cox cable packages, as well as via the streaming service Philo. They're going to have more services as it goes on. Original programming can also be viewed for free via their Twitch and YouTube channels. And so it's going to, their launch this week includes premieres of 4 original series, including the return of Attack of the Show.
Attack
and
of the Show. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is so weird. Like, it's weird that from 2014 to 2021, a video game television station or network hasn't, like, it's, what are we doing here? Like, everybody's talking about video games. Like,
Exactly.
How did that even leave the air is my question.
I think it didn't have, obviously, it's financial thing,
Right?
You know, and it doesn't make, and like you said, it doesn't make sense because the industry was bringing in, you know, as an industry, but obviously in this neck of the woods of the industry where it's content that talks about, you know, similar to ESPN, where they always talking about traditional sports, a network that was doing that just couldn't have the funding. It's like, really? Like, oh, you know, I work. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. But hopefully now they can sustain along with other networks like the one I'm working with, ESTV, doing the same thing. So hopefully, you know, either we collaborate together or we could just function and live in the same area, because this is, you know, content that we want as gamers. We want to see a show that breaks down games, or we want to see a show that talks about pop culture along with gaming, along with comic books and all that. That keeps us, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Or kind of, you know.
Yeah. So that's G4 is back. I saw that. I was like, oh, G4 is back. That's crazy.
I
Because
auditioned out there. I went out there.
Did you?
Yeah, back in it was the year I tore my quad, 05. So since I was out, you know, once I got walking again, you know, from my rehab, I flew out to California and actually did an in-person interview. And I thought it went well, but didn't get the call back. But it's all good. You know, I kept grinding. You know, eventually one day, and that's why that's one reason that we're doing what we're doing, John, because of this podcast. Because I was like,
now, 15 years later, maybe they'll have a new audition.
Right, exactly. I had passion for those shows. Adam Slessler, Kevin Pereira, watching them, and the ladies that they had on with him in each show, X-Plan, all that, it inspired me to come up. This is kind of that was the egg that was planted in my head years ago to do this. So that's why we have the Gamers Lounge, bro. Yes.
Nice. It started with G4.
It started with G4 Network. I was like, oh my God.
So cool.
Yeah, 09, I retired, and I was sitting there watching G4 from like 8 a.m. to like noon. Then I go work out, and then I go back downstairs to play video games. Oh man.
Was it always called G4, or was there a name before that?
No, it was always G4. It was G4 Network.
Okay.
It was always G4 Network. Yeah. And then Tom McSino said, should I clip that he said he'll do the podcast that day? Who said that? Oh, me? Yes. Yeah, you could clip that. Yeah, you could clip that though. I am gonna do it. He's trying to hold me. I'm gonna do it. Atomic Sino. I'm not gonna let the intoxication of Halo Infinite coming out keep me away from doing my podcast, doing my fun job here. I gotta do it, man. Gotta get John in there and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna get that gone. I can, obviously, because it's one of my favorite shooters of all time. But I'm gonna make it out. All right, so we got this.
Release the games. It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
I love it. We still haven't found the species of the dog, but that's okay. So the game release I'm talking about today, of course, is gonna be Battlefield 2042. They have all the different, you got the base level, standard edition. Then also you have the ultimate edition that obviously gives you more experience points different weapon skins and things from the metaverse that is becoming a thing. You know, Disney is working on its own metaverse. I think Samsung is working on its own metaverse. So, like I mentioned, it's crazy. So the next generation of all-out war has arrived. Battlefield 2042 comes out. It says, I think it was today, or no, it's a Friday. I'm sorry, excuse me, November 19th, this Friday. So here in a couple days, and so adapt and overcome dramatically changing battlegrounds with the help of your squad and a cutting-edge arsenal. So you got helicopters, you got planes, you got submarines. You could parachute, do the things that military people do. So Battlefield changes. It changes before your eyes. Every game mode with a cutting-edge arsenal at your disposal. The grand return of all-out warfare. So this is where you get in. Like I said, you get in the tanks. You get in the Apache helicopter. You come down and rain fire on people, along with doing the on-the-foot multiplayer stuff like Call of Duty. But now, you know, you got all these. You could do everything in a Battlefield environment. Hazardous environments, total combat freedom, and the Battlefield signature destruction spark a new breed of only in Battlefield moments. So they got, like I said, all-out warfare, Battlefield Portal, Battlefield Hazard Zone, which is an all-new experience that combines edge of your seat gameplay with the best of Battlefield Sandbox. So that means anything goes, anything can happen, you know, in this game, and it is a whole new world that who we got here? Who is the developer? I almost forgot. Is it EA? EA is the developer, I believe. EA is the developer. EA. So they're one of their I would say not one and only shooters, but a very good shooter that they have in Battlefield. I'm gonna definitely check this out because I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Halo. It's a shooter. It's hard to avoid shooters when they're good like this. When they show the graphics and the dialogue and the campaign that goes along with it. You know, it's a great game to get. But the last one I played, I enjoyed it, had a good time, so I'm excited about this one. And of course, it's during holiday. You know, got Black Friday 2 weeks away, or a week away now. And so trust me, there's gonna be a lot of purchases of this and Vanguard and Halo Infinite in the next, Black Friday. All the Christmas shoppers, people, like I said, my dad had to knock people down. There's gonna be people getting knocked down, going to get this game, John. So. This game is out. So your game I'm excited about. When I saw this game, I said, what? So let everybody know what you're going to talk about this week. What's out there? What's coming out this week?
It looks awesome. It's available this week. It's called Nerf Legends. And I saw this when you sent the game releases, and I said, well, hold on. Are we talking like Nerf guns? Like the actual Nerf? And we are. And hold on. Let me bring up all the platforms it's on real quick. Nerf Legends, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox, and the Switch. So basically it is thrusts you, this is from their official site, into a futuristic sci-fi world where you come face to face with legions of robot enemies and ultimate boss masters armed with a wide array of Nerf blasters based on their iconic real-world counterparts. You can set up in different locations. You got 15 authentic Nerf blasters, collect dart power-ups. You can also play, 4v4 in a team play or 8-player free-for-all. Dang. Sounds awesome, man. Oh, it just looks cool.
So if it's Nerf, when you get hit, you just like fall and then stand back up? They knock you and you got to get back up or something? That's what my question is.
Right, because here, let's take I'll take a look on the official trailer. Like, here, hold on. I'm trying to play it. Oh, and I pushed the wrong button. I don't know. I don't know that answer, to be honest.
I know. We're going to have to find out. That's going to be interesting.
No, I think they pretend like they're not Nerf guns.
Of course. They say they pretend they're not Nerf guns. So it's like, it sounds like Fortnite.
A little bit. Yeah.
Like disappear. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that. I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, this has got to be interesting. You got Nerf guns and because they got the big ones too that shoot out like the little golf balls and baseball size, lacrosse size balls.
Would it be cooler if they were Nerf like darts and then you just like kept playing, or would it be cooler if they made them like real?
I say I say the darts because that's what traditionally I grew up
Yeah.
having, and then you only get if you get hit twice. We'll see if you get hit twice, you got to fall and get rejuvenated, or like freeze tag. You got your teammates got to tag you to unfreeze you,
Yeah,
basically one of those things. And so with my game, I forgot to mention, like you mentioned, it's on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox Series X and PC as well. So, and it's $59.99 for the standard edition, and $89 or $69.99 for the Ultimate Edition if you want to pick that up for Battlefield 2042. Sorry about that. Thought I mentioned that. Do my job the right way, you know. All right, now we're going to
Row, row, row your boat gently up the... sorry. Excuse me. It's time for What's on Stream.
What's on Stream. Man, they got some cool stuff out here. Hey, I saw the preview of, when I first saw the preview of The Harder They Fall, I'm like, oh. And I saw the cast. They got Zazie Beetz, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors. He was in the Lovecraft Country. If you remember that last year, we talked about it. He was the main. Yeah. He was the lead in that. Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield, R.J. Kyler. So new actors in this, and it's basically a cowboy, a old school. I've been seeing a couple like cowboy.
Like a western.
It's a western. It's a cowboy western. It's basically when an outlaw discovers his enemy is being released from jail, he reunites with his gang to seek out revenge, either get his money back or pay back who he killed in his gang or something like that. And it's just old school, you know. So it ain't no, no special effects, but you have a fantastic cast. Zazie Beetz, if you remember her from Atlanta with Danny Glover, and she played his boyfriend or girlfriend, and she was also in Deadpool. She was Domino. She was Domino in Deadpool 2 actually. And so you got a great cast. Idris Elba, he's one of the criminals. Actually, he's the guy getting released from jail. So basically, you done some bad to somebody. When they find out you're getting out of jail, and they about to come in you. They want to come in you. So I say, watch this movie. I saw the preview. Can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to watch it tonight. I was supposed to watch it last night, but ended up having a great conversation on the podcast I did with a group. Charge it to the game. Fun guys. So I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm going to watch it tonight and enjoy this. So if you want to get into a good old Western movie, check it out. It looks pretty dope. It's fun. Great cast. I say if you go off the cast right there, you should watch it because you got great actors and great directing in this film. So check it out. It's on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for a couple weeks now. And so check it out. The Harder They Fall. Check it out on Netflix. Please enjoy
That's
yourself.
cool. I was going to ask, is that on Netflix? The movie poster just looks old school Western style poster. It's cool. It looks cool.
Yes, it is.
I like that. I like the vibe they've got. So there are two shows I'm watching on Apple right now. I'll talk about the one that's really caught my attention next week because I started watching a little bit more of that. But another one that I have started is The Shrink Next Door. It's got Paul Rudd and Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I saw the previews for that. Yeah,
and it's not like a typical Paul Rudd or Will Ferrell type of movie. It's about the story of Marty and the therapist turned his life around. Marty is Will Ferrell's character, and just kind of forming that relationship between the two. I've watched the first episode, and that's kind of what that first episode's about. And I'm definitely going to watch that series and see how that goes. But I'll talk about next week too. Invasion is another thing I'm watching.
I've been watching that. I'm on like episode 5. Yeah,
I'm on.
Good.
That's well, let's talk about that one next week. But this one, The Shrink Next Door, I think it's one of those. It's definitely one that's going to keep your interest. It's more of a drama.
Comedy, like a dark comedy, it kind of looks like.
Dark comedy, yeah. There's a little bit of that in there as well. But I like Paul Rudd a lot, and it's Will Ferrell, and usually like the stuff that he does too. So The Shrink Next Door, if you've got Apple TV, that's the one I'm going to be working on. And then next week we can talk about Invasion, also on Apple.
Yeah, Invasion.
That's getting like, whoa.
It's getting really good. I've been watching, like I said, episode 5, and it's been getting a little bit more interesting. Like Chris said, man, we ain't alone. We got stuff, and they're gradually taking over in that series as they.
You know what
as they're
stinks
doing.
about a lot of these, and I'm sure it's like this with the Shrink Next Door, is I was watching Invasion last night, and I'm like, okay, how many episodes is this series? And I start clicking ahead, and it's like the next one coming Friday. I'm like, no.
Yeah, they do them once a week. They learn the game, man. They taking a page out of Disney with WandaVision, with Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, where they're releasing them once a week. Invasion is like that. I believe Explained on Netflix is the only Netflix show that does that. They release a new episode every week, but Apple Plus does it. Prime, I believe, does it, where they making sure you gotta wait, bro. You gotta wait. You gotta have patience.
I know.
John. You know.
I know, because I was like, I'm gonna polish off another episode tonight, and then I looked and I saw, well, I gotta kind of space this out now so I can time it out
Right.
a little bit more, so I don't have to wait as long.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, we gotta watch it normal. So it's just like what we had to do when we were kids. When we had to watch the Cosby Show or Facts of Life, we had to wait till the following week.
Yeah, you can wait.
It's back to what we used to be. See, that's what we're in a generation that we lived into where we had to wait a week to the next episode. We couldn't just go to an app, binge it on a Saturday because we don't have nothing to do, and then wait for the next season, which took a year, to the next season drops. So no, we're part of that. We've experienced that, and now we're right in the bunch with all the kids. Like, hey, I want to watch it now. I want to watch all the episodes now. Let's go.
The thing that sucked back then too is if you missed that release on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday
That was
night,
it.
That was it.
You had to talk to your friends
was
at
it.
lunch. You'd be like, hey, man, what happened on Facts of Life last night? Or what happened on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Like, what? Oh, that Uncle Phil did this. And like, dang, I wish I would have saw it because you talking to me doesn't help me.
No, I did they ever like re-air though? Like you couldn't even catch like a rerun of it, could you?
No, it wasn't until they went in syndication. That's when you could catch all the past episodes.
So you miss it, even if you join like 5 minutes late. You're
Yep.
like,
You
crap.
can't
All right,
rewind
well,
it. Couldn't rewind it unless you were already videotaping it. Like some shows, I
Yeah.
did videotape. I learned how. My dad taught me how to record, and so I had VHSs full of either Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and or GI Joe or Transformers, because then I wanted that. I wanted my
That was
watch
the way
it.
to do it.
I wanted to
That was
watch
the
it
way
when
to
I
do it.
wanted to watch it and rewind if I missed something. And the
But
time
even then, like you have to figure out the whole process of the recording with the VCR. Like that seemed like it was like a hard thing to learn.
yeah, it was. You know what? It wasn't that hard once I got
Oh.
took it through the steps. You just got to know, when to obviously hit it when you want to record something. That's the biggest thing you remember, and make sure you got enough space on your VHS cassette. We're talking
Start fresh.
prehistoric stuff for a lot of for all the greenies in here. Joseph the Voice is in here now, and hi Carlito. So my man Carlos that helped. I think that's Carlos that helped get Chris on this show. Que pasa, mi amigo? Muy bien. Or about to say how you doing? Como está? There you go. Como está?
There
Mi
it is.
amigo.
There it is.
Yeah. And so Atomic Sino said, I hate that they're going back to the weekly model. he's with you, John. He's with you with that. He's like, nah. Why are you doing
I
that
mean,
to
I
us?
dislike it, and there are sometimes I do like it that they make me wait, but that's usually if I just like started a show right away. But if I caught it like 6-7 episodes in, and then I have to wait, that's when it kind of gets annoying to me.
Right. So, and then Atomic Sino says he left cable in part because of having to wait. So he definitely understands. But you know what? I do got a bone to pick with my streaming now. So being a former player, there's a promotion out on one of the websites, the Legends community website, where it said you could get Legends can get NFL Network and Red Zone at a discount and for free because we're former players.
Ooh, sure.
So I find out though, since I don't have the DirecTV box, I put in a request and it sent me the request, say, oh, you got it on your box. You could watch NFL Network now and Red Zone on the weekend. But I don't have the box. I have the app. I have the streaming. I'm DirecTV Stream. So it's not on there. So I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm like, you couldn't put it on the
Figure that
stream? Like, no. You can just, it's just
Figure
a code.
that out.
It's just a code thing. Type it in there. And then
They got to make sure all the contracts are signed with so you can allow to stream
right.
it. Ugh.
I like the voice change there too. Yeah, exactly. You know,
That's me being nerdy and legal.
I love it. Hey, man, great show today. That's it, man. We're at the end. We're done. I want to thank all the greenies in here, including Carlito, that just joined us. He helped us. He helped us get Eric, legendary Pred, last week, and Chris Rivers, who was a fantastic talk today. So 2 dogs and a guy, Big B, Klapkowski. Thank you for jumping in today. And Tom McSino, he jumped in right at the end, and he's going to clip what I said. I'm going to be here on December 8th, which is a Wednesday, the day Halo Infinite's. I'm going to mark my words. Now, if I'm not here, y'all could think of something I got to do if I don't make it here, which I know I'm will. So but I'll give y'all have some fun. Y'all can entertain yourself thinking about what I can do on stream to entertain y'all if I mess up. So there you go. Give you some homework to do. So I appreciate everybody coming in the stream today. Denai as well. He was here at the beginning. And Lano TG. Appreciate you. So everyone, have a great rest of your week. And see you next Wednesday. And we'll have a guest. I almost forgot. We have a new guest coming in. Dr. Bahat. He is a chiropractor for the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour champions. And so his nickname, guess what his nickname is, John? I know you see it, but his nickname is His nickname is Batman. We got the same nickname. So Dr. Bahat, aka Batman, he has a lot of funny stories about all the athletes that he has worked with over the years. You know, helping them with their back injuries or shoulder or neck, and also he will talk about video gamers and how they need to sit in their posture sitting in a chair gaming, and what the importance is of having a chiropractor in your life as a gamer. John.
Hold on. Is he Batman or Backman? Because of the chiropractor? Like he works on your back? He's Backman.
Well, no, yes.
No?
But his nickname is Batman. I like that, though. You could bring that up to Dr. Bahat next week.
Yeah.
So we'll have Dr. Bahat here on the stream next week, who is a chiropractor, like I said, or a Backman, as John mentioned. Backman. So join us for a new this or that and more information from the industry, because we got big things to talk about from week over week. It's always interesting things going on in the video game world. And then obviously new games coming out, and then more streams, because we know we got to talk about what's on stream, because we're going to talk about Invasion next week, because it's getting good on there, and we'll have another guest. So definitely join us next week for that, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Enjoy your weekend and see you next Wednesday. Peace.